It was like I could have probably stopped it. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey.
No matter what, when I walk through the door, I'm the bad guy. For sure.
But why they put that on you though?
Because it's black. I'm black. I'm big. I fit the criteria.
That's another one of the big struggles you're gonna deal with as an artist, especially if you come from LA or especially if you come from the streets in general. And you know, you got a lot of people that feel entitled to your success.
So imagine this, a man who walks into your neighborhood dressed as a community leader, hands out jerseys to kids, shakes hands with celebrities, and talks about peace. But behind closed doors, he's allegedly running an empire soaked in fear, extortion, and murder. What if the person protecting the biggest stars in the game was also setting them up? What if the very man who claimed to stand beside Nipsey Hussle was hiding secrets that could unravel everything we thought we knew about LA's gang and rap culture? You guys, the rabbit hole goes so deep, and once you realize who Big U really is, you may never look at your favorite rapper, or even your city, the same way again. Let's get into it. Eugene Big U Henley Jr. wasn't just a name whispered on the streets. He was the man you had to call if you landed in Los Angeles and wanted to survive. Whether you were a rapper, an athlete, or even a celebrity just passing through, Big U wasn't just advising you to check in, he demanded it. And here's the wildest part. He talked about it like it was normal. On his podcast, Big U made it sound like checking in was just out of respect. But behind that smile, the feds say he was running an entire mafia-like operation. RICO charges, extortion, human trafficking, even murder. And yet, for years, people worshipped him. He managed rappers, he mentored youth, he had connections with Snoop Dogg, Nipsey Hussle, and even the police, all while allegedly hiding one of the darkest double lives in hip-hop history. The story Big U sold to the public was inspiring. He served 13 years in prison for trying to rob an undercover cop of 33 pounds of cocaine, then turned his life around in 2004. He ran a nonprofit. He appeared to be a leader, but behind the scenes, there were whispers. Rappers like Schoolboy Q straight up called the check-in game a scam and warned people not to fall for it. Rich Homie Quan said Big U knew what time he landed, what hotel he was at before he even touched down in LA. And then came the paperwork. The feds dropped receipts. Allegedly, celebrities were paying Big U $100,000 just to throw dice games. If they didn't, he'd send someone to get the money back. And when Adrian Broner didn't check in and won millions from NBA players, witnesses say Big U sent people to rough him up. But it gets so much worse. Big U wasn't just a manager, he was Nipsey Hussle's mentor. When Nip was just starting out, Big U gave him a place to stay, helped him get connected, and even managed parts of his career. But when money, power, and pride got involved, things turned toxic fast. SKG, a woman once signed to death row and connected to both Big U and Nipsey, revealed a disturbing story. She was pregnant and walked into a meeting, only to be ambushed and physically assaulted by Big U, allegedly set up by Nipsey himself under pressure. She was betrayed, humiliated, and silenced. It wasn't just one story. Rumors of abuse, manipulation, and intimidation kept surfacing. Big U had reportedly demanded discipline for Nipsey after a diss track surfaced. Things got so intense that Nip's brother, Black Sam, literally pulled a gun to protect him. And when Nipsey was murdered in 2019, guess who was one of the first to know? Big U. The murder of Nipsey Hussle shocked the world, but behind the tears and tributes, there were people whispering.
What bothers me the most is when people say he got killed by one of his own homeboys. Right. Well, at some point, he wasn't his homeboy. Right. Because he's like, you ain't supposed to be here.
Did Big U know it was coming? Loose Cannon, once Big U's right-hand man, claimed Big U told him Nip was dead before it was announced. Others accused him of laughing at justice for Nip comments during live videos. Charleston White, never one to hold back, outright accused Big U of orchestrating Nipsey's death over an unpaid extortion fee. And here's the twist. Big U was reportedly losing influence. Nipsey was rising, meeting with police, starting businesses, and gaining independence from the gang roots. That didn't sit well with the old guard, and in that world, nobody's allowed to be bigger than the set. Was this jealousy, control, or something even darker? But if you think the feds are focused on Nipsey's murder, think again. Big U is currently under investigation for the murder of his own son's best friend, Rayan Williams, a promising young football player who once lived with him. According to the indictment, after a studio disagreement in Las Vegas, Big U returned to the studio at 3 a.m., alone and drenched in sweat. Hours later, Rayan's body was found dumped in a ditch. The footage from that night deleted, but DNA found under Rayan's fingernails, and it matched Big U. His response? Silence. No support to the family, no funeral appearance, just distance, even after being forced to give DNA. And remember, this isn't just some street beef. We're talking FBI wiretaps, surveillance, deleted footage, and a growing list of associates flipping on him. Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, dozens of others, all allegedly part of Big U's empire. And now, they're either behind bars or talking to the feds. Loose Cannon openly bragged about extorting Meek Mill and Rick Ross, selling guns with serial numbers scratched off, and watching Big U give orders. He's still calling into shows from jail. Brick Baby once denied everything, but then got caught bragging about murders on podcasts. And when the feds raided his spot, they already had everything on tape. Let's be real. These guys loved clout more than silence. And that might just be what brings them all down. Even platforms like No Jumper and Adam22, who hosted and profited off these stories, are now being criticized for pushing these street tales into the public eye. And the question now is, who's next? Right now, Big U is staring down a mountain of charges. He's linked to multiple murders, including the death of Rayan Williams. He's been accused of running an extortion racket targeting rappers, athletes, and celebrities. And worst of all, the people closest to him, the ones who helped build his empire, are now tearing it apart. Whether he flips, gets flipped on, or fades into silence, one thing is clear. The mask has cracked. The man who once walked through LA like a legend is now being revealed as someone very different, possibly the biggest puppet master behind the chaos we've seen in hip-hop over the last 2 decades. But you know what hurts the most? If even half of what's being said is true, then the legacy of Nipsey Hussle, the voice of the streets, the hope of Crenshaw, was betrayed by the very person who was supposed to protect him. This isn't just a gang story. This isn't just a music industry scandal. This is the unraveling of a system that's hidden in plain sight for far too long. And now that the truth is coming out, there's no going back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications because trust me, this story is far from over and we'll be here to break every update. Long live Nipsey. The marathon continues. I'll see you in the next one.